Players get so wrapped up with the overheads, with the bandecas, the vibras, the topspin smashes, but they don't actually know when they should be using them. Hi guys, Sandy here. Now, in a recent survey, we asked loads of our players, our community, what they really struggled with. And one of the most common answers was knowing when they should be hitting each of the different overheads and how do they make that decision. So in this video, we're going to talk about 3 tips to help you choose the correct smash for the correct situation. So in this video, we're not going to talk about the specific techniques to the bandeca. For example, we've actually got a course that I'll put up here, which is 6 steps to improving your bandeca, and it takes you all the way through that process. But we're going to talk more about the decision making that has to happen when that lob goes up, so you can decide which of these overheads to use. So the first tip and the first thing to consider when that lob has gone up is, are you in an attacking position or a defensive position? Yeah, are you going to hit an attacking overhead from further up the court? Are you going to hit a more defensive overhead from further back in the court? And that can really be identified almost from your opponent's body position. If you see your opponents are out of position, they're scrabbling here and they're a bit more on the defensive, it's less likely, unless they're at a very high level, it's less likely that they're going to hit a really accurate deep lob. Yeah, that usually means you might get something a little bit weaker. But as soon as that lob goes up, you want to identify the depth and also identify where you'll be on the court position to understand if it's attacking or defending. Because immediately, if you know it's defensive, that removes half of the attacking overheads, and it means that you're more than likely going to hit a defensive overhead like a bandeca or a gancho or one of those type of shots. If you identify that the ball is going to be short and you can be aggressive, then it's unlikely that you're going to use those defensive overheads, and you are more than likely going to use one of your attacking smashes. The second tip or second decision that you'll have to make is to identify if the ball is going to come from your open side or it's going to come across your body. And that, again, you can identify from where your opponent is. If, for example, I'm on the left side here and my opponent is hitting the lob from that diagonal corner, I know it's going to come to my open side. So I am more likely, or it's going to be more of an option for me to hit a vibra or to hit a bandeca. If my opponent is going from down the line and it's coming over my left shoulder, the first question I have is, am I going to have space to come around and to try and hit a vibra? Probably not. Yeah, so this is something that you can identify straight away to see if it's coming over your left or right shoulder. And it is the same on the right hand side as it is the left. Now on the right hand side, more balls will come over your left shoulder, so it's going to come across your body. Therefore, that's why you don't see as many vibras from the right hand side of the court as you would do from the left, because you don't have that open space. So that second decision is to say, is the ball going to come to my open side, and therefore all of these shots like vibras and bandecas are a good option, or is it going to come over my left hand side of the body on the closed side, and therefore a gancho might be more appropriate, or even a topspin smash, rather than the options to the other side. So the third tip or third decision that you'll have to make comes down to your shot intention. So we've established the ball is either coming from one of the corners or maybe down the middle, but we can identify where the ball is originating from. We have also established if it's going to be a defensive, or it's going to be a more difficult overhead, or it's going to be an attacking or an easier overhead. The third decision now is, what do we want to do with that ball? If it is short and it's come to our open side and we want to finish the point, then we might use our vibra, or we might use a flat attacking smash if they're close to the back glass. If the lob is deeper or it's come over our left shoulder, and we might decide to play a gancho, and our intention there is to force our opponents back to hit softer, or to use the glass or the fence to try and force them back. So that third decision comes with your intention. And this is where we're always saying, play within your capability. If it's a really high lob and it's come back really deep and you're in this position here, for you to go for an aggressive vibra to go, to try and finish the point, is that within your capability, or is that going to be too risky and you end up making a mistake and therefore losing the point because it's the wrong decision? So that third one, again, just to summarize, is important to make the right decision. It's your shot intention, what you want to do with it. So we've established those 3 tips. We've identified if it's a defensive overhead or an attacking overhead. We've identified where it's coming from to know how much space we're going to be able to create. And we've had our shot intention. We've decided which shot we're going to use. The real key now, and the glue that holds this together, is to stick to that decision. Yeah, most of the overheads are real confident shots. Yeah, if you're in a position here and you go for a vibra, you say to yourself, right, I can attack. Yeah, the ball has come to my open side. I'm in a good position. It's within my capability, and I'm going to hit a vibra. Then go for that vibra. Like, really go for it. The problem that a lot of players face is they then think, oh, I'm not sure, and they hit something in between a bandeja and a vibra, and it ends up not being effective. Once you've made that decision, stick to that decision, because that's how you're going to practice that shot. And maybe you might come at the beginning of the match and you try this vibra and you miss 1, 2, 3 vibras, but you've got to keep going for it if it is the right shot choice. So we've covered the decision making for using your overheads. On this side, I'm going to put the 6 steps to the bandeja course, because if you struggle with your bandeja, that is a great place to go. It's a real building blocks of how you hit that shot effectively. And then up here, I'm also going to talk about using spin with your bandeja, because that is really important when you are making your shot intention and your shot decision.